Predator Killer of Killers, Ondor, Phineas and Ferb, Deltarune, Punch Punch Forever, The Rehearsal, all absolute bangers in just the last couple of months or so. Autistic people, myself included, are truly eating well. But things are about to get even better, if you could imagine that, because everybody's favorite yellow and pink homunculi are making their grand return, and far earlier than we expected. While it was rumored a couple weeks back in a post I made in my community tab that Chorus Entertainment, holy shit, I haven't heard that name since my early days as a wee Canadian boy who spent his days watching YTV reruns of Reboot, they actually leaked information suggesting that Smiling Friends would return in the fall of 2025. And to many, this news felt like hearing your long-lost childhood crush was coming back to visit. So yeah, it sounded like a bit of a stretch. And guess what? At the Anacy Film Festival for Animation, which just took place in France this June 11th, at exactly 11:45 a.m., Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack took to the stage to present a making-of for the upcoming third season. As of now, there isn't much footage from the event, unfortunately. Trust me, I've combed through every random hashtag on Instagram.
Wembley Definitive Remastered Enhanced Extended Edition DX 4K Anniversary Director's Cut.
We didn't write that.
That's AI, I don't know who did that.
One time is good, right?
Yeah. And also, we hadn't seen that since we probably finished it and delivered it. So we were watching it actually backstage on a little...
What the hell was that? And yeah, as you could see, for some reason, just like the Bigfoot sightings, no one actually recorded anything of real substance or any context for what's being said. Come on, guys. But we could probably expect to see a teaser or a trailer pop up online on their Instagram any day now. But my friends, that's where lurking information online for research, and yes, I do consider lying restless in bed until potentially 6 a.m. in the morning, when 11 o'clock would occur in France, to be considered research. Could I maybe have waited until the next day for an article to come out? Yeah, however, I really wanted to see if there was anything that was put online. Anything. But that's why we're here today. The most substantial amount of information I got was actually from The Hollywood Reporter, which, kind of comes in handy when that releases the day after and kind of denies the purpose of staying up late, but hey, whatever. As of the morning that I was recording this, June 11th, they published an interview with both Michael and Zach about the series and what's to come. And a lot was revealed, including what could potentially be the most important thing of all, which some of you might already know. Not only are we getting a third season this fall, but the show has also been renewed for a fourth and fifth season. A double season pickup. Just a quick reminder that making these videos is a solo project that takes plenty of time to edit and write. So if you'd like to see more videos like this and want a quick and easy way to support the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and most importantly, drop a comment on what you want to see in the next season. For me personally, I'd love to see the anime episode they keep talking about being animated by Balak. And no, not just because of tits. Yeah, in case any of you doubted that Smiling Friends could potentially be the next Rick and Morty, Adult Swim doubled down with confidence with new seasons. Just right out the gate. You can even see it on their Instagram. It's legit, and it's not too big of a surprise as their shift to more digital streaming is something that perfectly fits Smiling Friends and the Zoomer audience that watches it. The show is so chaotic and unexpected at times that just about anything could happen in an episode. And as much as The Simpsons wishes that was a gotcha to say that the show is lol XD random with their recent spoof, that's actually the show's greatest strength. Michael in The Hollywood Reporter even said the following.
It means you don't have to make the same episode that the engine of the show relies on, which is the Smiling Friends go out and help a depressed character. Just like the shows we love and grew up with, the best part is now we can make a whole episode about a secondary character and zoom in on them more and explore the town.
That means we can absolutely expect more character-focused episodes, like an Alan Adventure, which everybody adored. It's actually probably the highest rated episode. And from the sound of it, we can expect to see more Mr. Frog, too. Michael describes him as the chaotic heart of the show, which makes total sense considering he was the first character that Michael and Zach conceived of. We can also expect other members of the Smiling Friends cast to get a spotlight that they deserve. Michael mentioned that in addition to the show's emphasis on experimental animation, there will will also be episodes that dive deeper into the underdeveloped characters of the show. And, as I've said before, and many others have too, we can only hope to find out what that green thing actually does. Hashtag release the gl episode. With all this, you'd think that everybody would be jazzed, right? Well, the most surprising part to me, some fans are actually concerned about the fall release window. Why? Well, with the animation of the show typically being relatively top tier, each season has improved upon the last, showcasing some of the best visual gags in adult animation, often made by incredibly talented artists from across the internet. So much so that the first 2 seasons took about 2 years to complete. So I guess this is leaving people turning around and asking why the 3rd season released so quickly in fall. Well, considering Zach and Michael planned their episodes far in advance, even going as far as writing scripts during the production of season 1 for seasons coming up in the future, it's not hard to believe that a lot of this was already ready to go. Michael Cusack had even said while working on YOLO he had no problem fully immersing himself in the Smiling Friends world, not having any issue going in and out of the different writing styles. And unlike Rick and Morty, which boosted its budget and greatly expanded its writing team beyond just Dan Harmon and the regulars, it arguably lost its voice in the process. And while I know many of you might think I glaze Smiling Friends a bit too much, you gotta hand it to them. It's absolutely respectful that Smiling Friends will remain a tightly controlled creative effort, potentially never losing the soul of what makes it so damn good. And this isn't your typical YouTube video essayist who just pulls this information out of nowhere as a total source trust me bro, because everybody's favorite internet goblin that screams about the Pentagon, Zach actually told The Hollywood Reporter during the Anacy Film Animation Festival that writing will continue to be just a joint project between him and Michael, focused purely on what works best for the show's world, and ultimately what's funny to both Michael and Zach. And while sure, YOLO might not be your thing, and might perhaps be a little too gross and bottom of the barrel for you in terms of animation comedy, and maybe Zach's Oni Plays styled inside jokes don't hit for you, but together, these two complement each other's strengths and improve on their weaknesses. And between you and me, I genuinely feel like they might be creating the next big Adult Swim hit of the streaming era. It even has the potential of doing far better than Rick and Morty currently, as while Rick and Morty was potentially at its absolute peak during the TV era of people watching shows, Smiling Friends is absolutely tailor-made for internet humor. And get this, according to the interview, one episode Zach and Michael hated writing was the Frowning Friends episode. Yep, the same one that's now a fan favorite, and the very episode that inspired me to start writing video essays in the first place, back when my microphone was so tin canny that I sounded even more like Lois Griffin and a Muppet than I already currently do. But seriously, while some creators like VivziePop prefer the method of dodging any criticism by ducking their head into the sand like a ostrich would, or in many such cases, attack fans for critiquing her work, Zach Hadel had this to say during the interview.
The method I found is, when an episode comes out, I will try to read everything that I can for about 24 hours. Once you've read about 20,000 comments across all the platforms, you're like, okay, I feel like I've absorbed most of people's reactions to this episode.
So it's pretty clear that not only is the next season likely to be much better, but Zach is actively working to improve what fans think didn't work, as him and Michael are not the kind to huff their own farts. And while I might say things like Smiling Friends is the next Rick and Morty, as your typical clickbaity YouTuber, truth is, it probably won't be. Michael and Zach have both said since day one that they have absolutely no plans for the show to drag on forever. And honestly, that might just be the smartest move of all. While I'd love to say that I'd enjoy Smiling Friends going on indefinitely, like I'm sure probably most of you do too, I can easily see the show ending on a handful of seasons and potentially a movie like Michael had alluded to in the past, and that being just fine. That said, I have no doubts that the next season is going to absolutely slap, and I have no doubt that the quality is still remaining the same, if not better. The show began to blow up during season 2, and very likely immediately got picked up and started production early. But those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? And again, thanks for watching, and always remember to stay smiling, friends.